Hello friends, my name is Catherine and welcome to Storytime. Let's start with our welcome song. Welcome, 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 welcome. How are you? How are you? Very well, thank you. Very well, thank you. How about you? How about you? Welcome friends. Let's start with a song today. Why don't we sing If You're Happy and You Know It? Okay, here we go. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Stomp, stomp. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Stomp, stomp. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Stomp, stomp. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Clap, clap, stomp, stomp. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Clap, clap, stomp, stomp. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Clap, clap, stomp, stomp. Hooray! Thank you for singing that with me. Well, why don't we start with our first book of the day? And this one's called These Hands. Written by Margaret H. Mason, illustrated by Floyd Cooper. Look at these hands, Joseph. Did you know these hands used to tie a triple bowline knot in 3 seconds flat? Well, I can still help a young fellow learn to tie his shoes. Yes, I can. Look at these hands, Joseph. Did you know these hands used to make the ivory sing like a sparrow in springtime? Well, I can still show a young fellow how to play heart and soul. Yes, I can. Look at these hands, Joseph. Did you know these hands used to pluck the ace of spades right out of thin air? Well, I can still teach a young fellow how to do a waterfall shuffle. Yes, I can. Look at these hands, Joseph. Did you know these hands used to throw a curveball faster than a dive-bombing honeybee? Well, I can still help a young fellow learn to hit a line drive. Yes, I can. Look at these hands, Joseph. Did you know these hands were not allowed to mix the bread dough in the Wonder Bread factory? Did you know these hands were not allowed to touch the bread dough in the Wonder Bread factory? These hands were only allowed to sweep the floors and work the line and load the trucks, because the bosses said white people would not want to eat bread touched by these hands. Well, these hands joined with other hands, and we wrote our petitions, and we carried our signs, and we raised our voices together. Now any hands can mix the bread dough, no matter their color. Now any hands can touch the bread dough, no matter their color. Yes, they can. Look at these hands, Grandpa. These hands used to not be able to tie a shoe, or play the piano, or shuffle cards, or hit the ball. Now I can do all that, plus bake a fine loaf of bread, can't I? Why, yes, you can, Joseph. Look at those hands. Those hands can do anything, anything at all in this whole wide world. Yes, you can. The end. I hope you enjoyed that story. That was such a nice book about a grandfather and his message to his grandson. Well, why don't we sing another song? This one's all about a grandfather, and it's called Down on Grandpa's Farm, and we have our little farm friends to help us out. Okay, here we go. We're on our way, we're on our way, on our way to Grandpa's farm. We're on our way, we're on our way, on our way to Grandpa's farm. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a woolly white sheep. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a woolly white sheep. The sheep, it makes a sound like this, ba, ba. The sheep, it makes a sound like this, ba, ba. We're on our way, we're on our way, on our way to Grandpa's farm. We're on our way, we're on our way, on our way to Grandpa's farm. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a little green frog. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a little green frog. The frog, it makes a sound like this, ribbit, ribbit. The frog, it makes a sound like this, ribbit, ribbit. We're on our way, we're on our way, on our way to Grandpa's farm. We're on our way, we're on our way, on our way to Grandpa's farm. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a little black dog. Down on Grandpa's farm there is a little black dog. The dog, it makes a sound like this, woof, woof. The dog, it makes a sound like this, woof, woof. We're on our way, we're on our way, on our way to Grandpa's farm. We're on our way, we're on our way, on our way to Grandpa's farm. Very good, friends. That was really fun to sing with you. Well, why don't we read one more story? I found another one all about a little boy and his grandfather. This one's called Fredrico and the Wolf. Federico and the Wolf by Rebecca J. Gomez, illustrated by Elisa Chavarri. Once upon a modern time, a boy named Federico left to buy ingredients to make the perfect pico. Cuidado, called his mama as he pedaled toward the shops. Mind abuelo's grocery list and don't make other stops. Past the buildings, cars, and cabs, young Federico scurried until he reached the marketplace where people browsed unhurried. He filled the basket on his bike with aromas, herbs, and limes, jalapenos, onions, and a peck of Anaheims. He added garlic, pickles, bread, and other market goods, then pedaled through the city park and deep into the woods. A fallen branch had blocked the path, so Rico stopped his ride. With steady force he pushed and budged the barrier aside. "Hola," called un lobo, catching Rico unaware. "I see you've packed a hefty lunch. You got some grub to spare?" "Sorry, Lobo," Rico said. "I must be on my way. I have to be at Grandpa's shop by 12 o'clock today." Federico grabbed his bike and left the wolf behind. Little did he know the wolf had other plans in mind. La tienda was deserted. Rico listened. Not a sound. The sign said closed. And what were those? Some paw prints on the ground. Federico peeked inside, alarmed by what he saw. A figure waved him over with a large and furry paw. "Abuelo?" whispered Federico, pulling off his hood.
"Yes, it's me, but I can't see. Come closer if you would."
I think you need a shave. Your beard has grown so thick."
"You think so?"
said El Lobo.
"Steady grooming does the trick."
"Your arms have gotten grande,"
My new workout's making me strong.
New dentures too?
They help me chew because they're sharp and long.
By now the wolf was drooling.
All this chatter is getting old. I'm hungry, bub. I need some grub before I pass out cold.
Okay, said Rico. Let me see. I've brought your favorite treats. Whole grain bread, a cabbage head, a jar of pickled beets. El Lobo's nose began to twitch.
Mi niño, here's the deal. Set those yucky things aside and I'll make you my meal.
He bounded from La Silla with a grunting, growling shout, but Rico tossed some chili powder straight into his snout. The wolf inhaled, he sniffed, and he snuffed. He itched and twitched and wheezed. He tried to wipe his drippy nose, but Achoo! Sneezed. Federico ducked and dashed, then rummaged through his sack.
Not so fast, you tasty tyke, I haven't had my snack.
But Rico quickly plotted. When the wolf's mouth opened wide, he grabbed un habanero and jammed it deep inside. El Lobo gulped, he gagged and coughed. His ojos blazed bright red. Steam was puffing out his ears.
I need to dunk my head.
He hurtled through La Puerta with a shrieking, gasping scream and dashed as fast as he could go toward the distant stream. Ayuda! Cried Abuelo from inside a bolted box. Rico found him safe and snug in just his shorts and socks. Gracias, he scrambled out with shouts of pride and joy.
I thought that wolf would do us in, but you prevailed, my boy.
They cleaned the mess, and Gramps got dressed, then shared a bit of lunch.
How about we make a sauce that packs a special punch?
They chopped and diced, used lots of spice, and simmered sauce all night, then bottled their concoction, Wolf's Bane Salsa. Extra bite. The end. I hope you enjoyed that story. Well, we've come to the end of story time, so let's sing our farewell song. We wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. We clap our hands for all our friends. We wave goodbye like this. Thank you for coming, friends, and I'll see you next time.